Hi, I'm Anna and this is Osay, and today we're going to be talking about positive mental health and what that means. So, first, to get to introduce into this topic, we're going to do a positive affirmations activity.
Hey guys, I'm Osay, like Anna said. So today I want you guys to write down 3 things you like about yourself, share one with a friend, and then I'm just, during this we will be respectful of others' answers and acknowledge what they like about themselves. Like for me, I like how I'm diligent, I'm hardworking, and I feel like I'm a good friend to others. So I just want you guys to do that, and like hopefully we can get a good class started today.
So, as people, it's important for us to have positive mental well being. Normally, we only talk about health in terms of what our bodies are physically, like when you break an arm or feel sick, but health can also be mental. And it can be like when you feel down about something in your personal life or about school, etc., or when you feel stressed. Mental health includes our emotions, our psychology, and our social well being. It can affect how we think, how we feel, how we act, and can help determine how we handle stress, relate to others, make choices. We think it's really important to deconstruct this misconception surrounding mental health at a young age in order to help you guys prioritize your mental health in your life. So today we have two learning objectives. First, to help you guys identify 2 to 3 key components of positive mental health and to list strategies for increasing positive mental health in daily situations.
So there are two aspects to mental health that we like to focus on. The first one is flourishing, and the second one is languishing. To flourish, it means to live in a way that helps us be happier, increase independence, as in you're able to do things on your own, clear goals in life, and high resilience. That means like you don't stop when things get hard. This is important to identify because when we have negative emotions or negative mental health over a long period of time, you could be more susceptible to illness and thinking behavior and mood. Your thinking and behavior and mood could all be affected. Languishing is the opposite spectrum of mental health. A person that is languishing may feel down about themselves or sad all the time. This could lead to negative emotions you don't like feeling, limitations to your daily activities, like you find yourself procrastinating more on a task, or having trouble socializing and paying attention to the people you care about. There are a lot of positive outcomes for being within a flourishing state, such as being able to combat when you get sick, eat better, less doctor visits, and show more optimism than those who are languishing.
So there's this long quote on the slide. I'm not going to read it all, but I just want to point out some important components that this quote says. First, underlined is dynamic state. So pretty much what that means is that mental health can actually fluctuate, kind of like Ose was talking about, between a good state and a bad state, and that's completely normal to kind of be changing in terms of where your mental state is at. Also, our universal values really impact our mental health. So, what we as a core really value in our own lives. And then also, there's this harmonious relationship between body and mind. And basically, what this quote is trying to say about that is that how you feel mentally can affect you physically, and vice versa. How you feel physically can affect you mentally. So, physical and mental health are really intertwined with one another.
So, guys, I just want to talk about it's normal to feel like our mental health is languishing sometimes. When I was in middle school, I got bullied really badly, and I realized this had a languishing effect on my mental health because I didn't want to go to school anymore and I was scared to be out of class. This really affected my mental health, and I realized I had to do something about it. So I told my mom what was going on, and she helped me through teaching me how to meditate when I felt anxious and scared about going to school, and that really helped me get through this tough time in middle school. Throughout my time in seventh and eighth grade, I had a flourishing mental health state because I was excited to go to school and excited to interact with the other kids in my classes. Since I was able to identify I was in a languishing state, I was then able to try something to combat it, and it led me to a flourishing state, which helped me to be more productive within the classroom and more social with my friends. I want to emphasize that it's okay to feel down sometimes, but it's also okay to seek help for mental health. If any of you guys are feeling down or want to talk more, I'm sure any of coaches at King Middle School would be love to hear from you and love to help you. So today we're going to go over 2 scenarios. You guys will identify which student is flourishing in which student is experiencing languishing mental health state. So I would usually ask the student to read one of these, but for now I'm going to read it for the purpose of this assignment. James has a test on Monday. He's been preparing all week for it, though he's still somewhat anxious about it, though he fully believes he can accomplish the goal he set for himself, which is to make a 95 plus on his test. So can someone like answer, says James experiencing a languishing or flourishing mental health state? Okay, cool. This is flourishing. James is experiencing a flourishing mental health state. Next scenario is Mark has a test on Monday. Again, I would ask a student to read this, but for the purpose of this assignment, I'm reading it. Mark has a test on Monday. He's been preparing here and there, but mostly he's been playing games on his new PS5. He says it's been hard for him to focus and to feel good about applying himself within the classroom. He wants to do well on this test, but he is not motivated to be productive with this time. So, again, do you think the scenario is flourishing or languishing? And how can we help if Mark is experiencing a languishing state? How can we help him move into a flourishing state? Meaning, what steps can we take for Mark to reach a flourishing mental health state? So again, at the end of this, we would say James is flourishing and Mark is languishing, because to flourish is to live in an optimal range of human functioning, which James is because he's prepared for his set. Though he feels a little anxious about it, he's ready and he can believe he can accomplish it. As in Mark is unprepared and he's very anxious, and he's not going to do well on his test because he's just not motivated to be productive at the time.
Awesome. So now that we've kind of identified some different key components of positive mental health, we're going to be talking about some strategies that you guys can use to increase your positive mental health. And like Osay was just talking about, we want to use these strategies so we can kind of reach that flourishing positive state. So there's a couple of ways we can do this. For example, mindfulness through meditation. So meditation is a technique that allows us to reach mindfulness, and mindfulness is defined as focusing on being intensely aware of what you're sensing and feeling in the moment. So it's kind of just being aware of where you are at in one specific moment without judging yourself at all. And meditation is a way to kind of practice mindfulness. Another way to increase positive mental health is random acts of kindness. So you can randomly do things for other people. For example, my roommate the other day just randomly brought me a coffee from Starbucks, and that really helped me because it put me in a better mood, but it also helped her because she was doing something for others. There's also something called the three things strategy. So you think of 3 things that went well for you that week, and you write about the positive events that happened in your life that may have made you feel better. So it's kind of just a way to reflect, and you can do this every day, every week, every month, whatever you want. You can really make it personal to yourself, but it's all about just kind of reflecting upon those good things that do happen every day. And lastly, exercise. So for me, I grew up swimming and I played water polo in college, and I think that exercise is a really great way for me to kind of relieve stress, and also always improves my happiness and my positivity as well.
All right, guys. Oh, sorry. Had to wait for the bell to stop ringing. Oh, my. All right, it's the bell's finally over. So I want to talk about taking standardized tests and how they can be mentally challenging, but through positive affirmations, we can increase positive mental health, which contributes to success in school and in other tasks that we do in our daily lives. So wait, I don't think it got any of that. Hold on. So taking, I think I was muted the whole time, but I wanted to talk about taking standardized tests and how they can be mentally challenging, and how positive affirmations can increase positive mental health, which contributes to success in school and in other tasks. When I would take a standardized test in middle school, I know for me, I'm from Georgia, so back in our days, it's CRCT, but you guys might be too young for that. And I think now, I think it's the EOC. I knew it was very important for me to be in a state of well mental being. Also knew I had to maintain and increase my positive mental affect at times. Taking standardized tests, and tests in other classes can be extremely challenging. However, I knew by reiterating to myself each morning that by studying my hardest, my skills would show in my test scores, and that my mental well-being would be in a better place. Before bed, I have started meditating to calm my mind down so I could start fresh the next day. Through these coping mechanisms, I was able to study and do well on my middle school standardized exams and tests in my classes throughout middle school and high school. Even in the 8th grade, I got perfect scores on all my final tests. So there we go. This works. So you guys should do it too. Um, so, and again, in class, I would just ask, like, what are some ways you guys, cope or get rid of your stress before your final exams? Just have a couple students interact and broaden the discussion some more.
Yeah, so kind of like Osei was saying, we want you guys to reflect upon what mental health strategies you guys can use in your own daily lives and figure out kind of what works best for you. So I'm going to read these questions one at a time, and then you can just like pause the video, write down your answers, discuss with whoever you were with, etc. So first, what mechanisms do you use to increase your positive mental health? And then how did these mechanisms that you just listed help you increase your day-to-day emotions? And then lastly, how does a stress/negative mindset affect your productivity? So again, hopefully you guys reflected upon all of these questions, but again, it's important to realize that the strategies that work for your friend might not work for you, and that kind of figuring out these strategies while you're in middle school now can be really important to setting the stage as you move into high school and college. And so just to kind of wrap up, normally we would have you guys kind of do a Google form to kind of wrap up, but instead just kind of reflect upon the lesson and write down what you think a synonym or another name for flourishing and languishing are. And then write down 3 strategies that you like that we've talked about or that you brainstormed that you can use the next time you feel your mental health languishing. Again, hopefully by discussing positive mental health, including the different components of positive mental health and strategies to increase positive mental health, you guys feel more comfortable having open and honest conversations about mental health and can hopefully use these strategies as you guys go through high school and college.